never played out and really until the Me Too movement. And I had a show really quickly after that and played it out. And it was a really powerful experience for me to share it. So I'd like to sing that. It's called Never Said. I said stop, but I didn't say no. I said not now, but I didn't say no. I said don't, but I didn't say no. I said just leave, but I didn't say no. I said what are you doing? Just get the hell off of me. This is uncomfortable, no, but I didn't say no. No, I never said no. No, I never said no. Never ever said. I said I'm scared, but I didn't say no. I said it hurts, but I didn't say no. I said I won't tell on you if you would just stop. And I'm so good at secrets, 'cause I got a lot, and I keep them inside of me deeper than you'll ever go. But I didn't say no. No, I never said no. No, I never said. I said I'm tired, but I didn't say no. I said it's late, but I didn't say no. I said what if they hear us not here, not now, not you? God, why are you doing this? Please, I just want you to go. But I didn't say no. No, I never said no. No, I never said no. Oh, I never said no.
Wow. Nothing like kicking things off with some heavy hitters. Again, you were tuned into KGNU, Boulder, Denver, Fort Collins, Netherlands, all over the Front Range, and this is Valerie Bhat we're listening to right now. I'm curious, both of those songs that you started with deal with such immense and complex issues. And what was that process like for you to zero in on that? How did you take this massive issue and come out with such succinct and powerful songs?
Right, thank you. I think one thing is I wrote both of those for myself, and I didn't write those ever thinking I would play them for anyone else, because most of my songs are very easy and love songs and fun, and I think I'm uncomfortable making art that makes other people uncomfortable. So it's been, I think, since we were just talking about song school earlier today, and I think it's been since having that kind of intensive song training that I've been allowed to kind of let go and be okay in all types of art, and not just the happy, fun, easy art.
Yeah. So in terms of, it seemed like you really zeroed in on details, like the
Right.
specifics. But, my experience as a listener was I felt like I just got punched to the gut with, like, the whole topic.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really powerful. What sorts of songwriters have you admired that have done something similar, whether they identify as, like, being sort of musicians who write protest songs or not?
Right. Well, I think I have a lot of influence of my whole life of Bob Dylan, but then also my adult life of Amanda Palmer. And I think I'm a performer now because of her influence and even her book that gave me a lot of permission to step out and take part of the stage.
Yeah, I love her book, The Art of Asking.
Mm-hmm.
Philosophically, what really resonated with you personally that really changed you by reading that book?
I think just her courage to let her voice be heard, which I think I have I have another song which I don't know if I'll sing tonight, but I often have trouble speaking my mind because I don't want other people to, be uncomfortable or start an argument and so I'm trying to step out more and take that courage and use my voice and not just let it go to waste.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're using it really powerfully in those songs. Started tearing up the first one. It was like, man, it's going to be a good night.
That shooting, I'm from Texas where that shooting was, and not the same town, but my father always said that he wanted to name me Annabelle. And so I think that especially when I heard this story, I could have totally been that girl in the church. It was the first Sunday in October in November is the All Saints Day. So you always sing this song about, you sing a song for the saints of God. And, that day, 27 more people joined those ranks. And one of the people in the membership said that, it was the day the angels fell. And so those things really spoke to me. And I'm glad to have a place like this to share them, because it's hard to do in most coffee shop type venues.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're sharing them. And I'm curious, I mean, you mentioned that you wrote those two songs for yourself. And when you do perform them, do you feel like you perform them for yourself, for the listeners, or for something else?
Probably mostly for myself, truthfully. It's good to have this opportunity, for sure.
Yeah. Well, they had a huge impact on me, so thank you for sharing them.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. And do you have recordings of those? Are you going to be recording
I do.
those?
I have recordings of those. They're available for download on my website, which is valerie-music.com. And I have SoundCloud and Reverb Nation clips there that you can download or stream.
Cool. Well, thanks so much. Yeah. And we're going to keep moving in the round. Up next, we have Laura Marielle, and she's going to be performing, I think, a couple more songs for us here. What do you have in mind?
So this first one is a little bit about my creative journey and how I got to be someone who actually writes music and then plays it for people, as opposed to just writing it and keeping it to myself. So, my music has always been for me, and but I hope to reach other people with it too. So, here we go. I've never been a writer of fiction. I never thought that I had a story to tell, but the point that I knew that maybe it's just me here, I figured a way through this maze. I'm feeling loud, I'm feeling out of my mind. I'm running through the woods with my head on the ground and my feet in the sky. Feeling loud, I'm feeling out of my mind. I'm running through the woods with my head on the ground and my feet in the sky. Place in the mountains and I think my heart's there. I think that maybe that's why I only wanna go. I haven't stopped to sit down and gather my thoughts at all. I thought maybe if I did I might not like what I found. I'm feeling loud, I'm feeling out of my mind. I'm running through the woods with my head on the ground and my feet in the sky. Feeling loud, I'm feeling out of my mind. I'm running through the woods with my head on the ground and my feet in the sky. Feet in the sky. Feet in the sky. Feet out, there's plenty of love here. There's people and things to capture your mind, and the more that you think, the less that you seek, the more that you will find, dear. Like the song that we sang when we were young. Remember that song about the penny, the one that taught us to give love. I'm feeling loud, I'm feeling out of my mind. I'm running through the woods with my head on the ground and my feet in the sky. I'm feeling loud, I'm feeling out of my mind. I'm running through the woods with my head on the ground and my feet in the sky. Feet in the sky, 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 feet in the sky. So this next one is it's a poem I wrote a long time ago. It's probably one of the first heartbreak songs I wrote. That's probably my specialty. So, but I wrote the poem a long time ago, but it's one of the most recent things that I've adapted into song, and I like it a lot. It's a fun one. Snug in your frame, but it got humid that spring, and the woods simply warped. I saw it coming, so my eyes paid spin shut. It loomed ahead for weeks, for months, as I learned to trust in love. I held you tighter, but struggled to breathe. Slipping underwater, and you were always stronger than me. I watched you sink out of sight, out of mind. I could never handle you when you had no space for me. Kicked down through the blue waters through which I'd been peering. Had I not seen you sinking, had I not seen the smile on your face. Up here I live by the sun, by the moon. No dominating color to engulf my waking life. I still miss the blue that I'd known, my dearest deep blue sea. I loved you so, but you still had to go, so I never looked back. Nice.
Laura, I always love your melodies. You have these great, like, catchy, they're unexpected, but it's like, it's that thing that you, when you sing it, it's like, yeah, that's what I want to hear. But I didn't know that's what I wanted to hear until you sang it. And they're just like, you've got these great syncopations, and like I said, they're catchy. They seem almost playful, even when you're talking about really serious things. You know, I just love your melodies. And I'm curious, who do you listen to that you think that your ear has grown in that way? Because I want to listen to them too.
Gosh. I think I'm always sort of drawn to musicians that just have like way too much going on with their music. And I say too much, but like I love it. I know I'm always like showing the music I like to friends, and they're like, yeah, that's cool. It's one of my favorite artists is St. Vincent.
Yes.
And I love what she does with her guitar. I love what she does with her voice. I love that she's going in a lot of different directions. And I'm a huge fan of like Florence the Machine and a lot of other like just really strong female vocalists. That's probably what I'm like most into and draw from the most. And Fiona Apple is another that I'm a big fan of. And I think it's funny because for me, the melody just comes first. Like I'll just, in the same way that you get like an earworm in your head, I just have a melody there, and from there I just pick it up and see what I can do with turning it into something with chords and something I can play for people. So
yeah, and it's interesting. You know, I also happen to be drawn to strong female vocals and leads and whatnot. And at least in my experience, when I was growing up, I don't really recall seeing a lot of women actually play guitar, like in person. And I'm curious, what was your experience like growing up? Did you listen to a lot of female-fronted music and like female instrumentalists growing up? Or is this a relatively newer thing?
It's relatively newer. I'd say growing up, it wasn't till probably my last year in high school, I started really getting into, that was like when I was introduced to St. Vincent and like a lot of other indie musicians, like, you know, male-fronted bands as well, like Grizzly Bear and those guys and Animal Collective. So no, I didn't see a lot of that, and I think that was always sort of a struggle for me, developing my voice as a musician, because I knew I was a singer, but I didn't know, so I grew up singing, and then I sort of picked up guitar to fill in the blanks and like be able to play music for myself, because I didn't know of a lot of bands that were female fronted. And so the way I saw it is like, if I'm going to play music, I'm going to be playing guitar and singing. And so I wouldn't actually say guitar is one of my favorite things in the world, but it's what allows me to do this and what allows me to create my voice. So, yeah.
Cool. You know, and Laura, one thing that I find really fascinating about you and some of the other members in the Coalition of Women Songwriters is I know that your career is very much in the tech industry.
Sure.
And yet you write these, again, playful melodies and these great songs, and it almost seems like a double life or something. Does that feel like that for you, or do you feel like they're more integrated than what it seems like on the surface?
I mean, that's so tough to say. So, I do know a lot of people for whom, you know, engineering and music go hand in hand, because they're, you know, actually kind of similar parts of the brain, the whole math and music thing people talk about. I would say, though, that as far as like having the creative energy to spend on music, I actually do struggle with that working in engineering, because I use up a lot of that during the day. And so coming home in the evening and then being like, all right, gonna use some more of that creative energy is a little tough. So sometimes they really work together and sometimes they're at odds.
Well, whatever you're doing, I like it. Looking forward to hearing more.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So, again, thanks again for tuning in. You're listening to KGNU, Boulder, Denver, Fort Collins, Netherland, all up and down the Front Range. This is the Kabaret show. We are live in the studio, in the Boulder studio of KGNU. And this is a showcase of the Coalition of Women Songwriters. And again, you've already heard Valerie Bhat. You've also heard Laura Marielle. And my name is Riley Ann. And it's my pleasure to host these, and I'm really excited because tonight I actually get to be a performer on this as well. So I'm going to start out with a banjo tune that I haven't performed live in quite some time. I've been pretty busy with my blues rock band lately, so these folky banjo tunes just don't really fall in the set list very often. This is a tune I wrote called "How Far My Heart Bends." Left my heart across the river, and I hope you understand. Till you leave her, I can't see you anymore. It's killing me to just pretend. So that was a song that I actually released just about 3 years ago, right before I moved from Galena, Illinois to Boulder, Colorado. It was part of a song cycle that I wrote. If you're not familiar with the song cycle, it's a structure that was used by a lot of composers. The composer I'm most familiar with is Robert Schumann. Or no, Schubert, I'm sorry, Franz Schubert. Schumann and Schubert. Get them mixed up sometimes. But basically a song cycle is where you have a collection of songs that in a very particular order, each song is almost like a chapter in a book where it tells a complete story. So that was part of a record that I released as part of my going away party when I left the Midwest for Colorado. And it's when I left my career teaching high school English for becoming a musician full-time. So if you are curious about hearing that with a full band, that is on Spotify under my name, Riley Ann, RILEYANN. And I like that particular track. It's got a cellist on it and drums and bass and everything, and I like how it came out. This next one I wrote was one of the more recent ones that I've written. When the Charlottesville protest happened last fall, I was actually at song school. I was reading the news on my phone, and it was at the same time that Trump was having a tweet war with North Korea, and I was kind of having a panic attack. But as you know, you ladies can probably identify with, one of the best ways, at least for me, to sort of calm down and channel things is to write a song. And I was like, I need to like do something about this. So my head was kind of spinning, but I sat down with my guitar. I had just learned about a tuning called Dadgad, and also how to use the Dorian mode in songwriting. And so I had also been earlier that day to a workshop on people kind of brainstorming about how to approach protest songs in 2017, because it was last fall. And so I sat down and I wrote my first song in Dadgad. It's my first song in the Dorian mode, and it's my first protest song. And I like to tell people it's not going to be my last in any of those categories. So this song is called My Stand. I'll be releasing this with my band, The Cat Calls, which is a blues rock band with a full band, but you get the stripped down acoustic version of me right now. That's that song. And it's interesting, Valerie, something you said that really resonated with me was, the person you chose to focus on was Annabelle, in your song and that connection. And I remember reading that news article, and Heather, the woman who was killed, is or was the same age as me. And it's interesting when I feel like you can empathize with anyone, but when you see those strands of connection, it makes it even more palpable. And so I just thought of that, so cool. So thanks again for tuning in. We are live in KGNU. This is a Coalition of Women Songwriters Showcase with Valerie, Bhat, Laura, Marielle, and myself, Riley Ann. And I think we're just going to keep things moving and doing some more in-the-round passes through, so you get, more tunes from each of these fabulous musicians. So, Valerie, what else do you have for us?
All right, well, this one is a lot easier, not so tragic as the others. Just a fun little ditty. I'll be playing it tomorrow night, too. I'm supporting my friend Shanna in a Dress for her new crowdfunding campaign. We'll be at Still Cellars in Longmont tomorrow night from 6 to 8. So I'm looking forward to that. This song is called Know For Sure. Didn't know I had it good. Didn't know which way to turn. Didn't know to laugh or cry. I don't know just what came over me, but I'm finding courage. Didn't know I had inside. I didn't mean to let you down. I didn't mean to be afraid. I didn't mean to do you wrong. I never meant to fall in love with you. I act like I mean it, but I never know what to say. Sure as the sun will rise, sure as the day is long, sure as the stars above, there ain't no doubt about our love. Sure as I know we have the strength inside we need to endure. This much I know for sure. I didn't make the rules, and I didn't lead you on. I didn't lose my faith, but I didn't sleep at all last night. I didn't know better, you didn't bat an eye. Sure as the sun will rise, sure as the day is long, sure as the stars above, there ain't no doubt about our love. Sure as I know we have the strength inside we need to endure. This much I know for sure. It's been such a long time. This much I know for sure.
That's great.
All right.
Thank you.
I like that. So you said you're performing that tomorrow at Still Sellers?
Yes, tomorrow night.
So is that going to be, are you collaborating with Shanna? Or are you
Yes,
playing-
Shanna in the Dress is having a lot of friends with her. We'll have people like Tilia Americana, Tim Ostick, myself, John Bunsley, Fortel. A lot of local people will be supporting her. And if you haven't heard Shanna in a Dress, you really should. She's a member of our coalition of women songwriters, and she's fantastic.
She is, yeah. Yeah, so you said that's at Still Sellers from 6 to 8?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And then if people want to keep up with your music and your other upcoming shows and whatnot, where's the best place to keep track of you?
Thank you. Yes, you can check out my website, which is valerie-music.com, or on Facebook at Valerie Bhat Music. And that's Valerie, B-H-A-T, music.
Cool. All right, cool. Well, Laura, do you want to play another song for us?
Sure. All right.
Just keep things rolling.
Absolutely.
And what did you have in mind?
For my next. I
I don't know if you wanted to tune it or not. Since it's your book, but
just check real quick.
yeah.
So this next song that I'll be playing, a lot of the songs I'm playing tonight came from a phase over the last couple of years where I was going through just quite a bit of changes in my life, and I went from living in Maryland to dropping everything, quitting my job, spending a bit of time hiking on the PCT, and eventually made my way here out to Colorado. And I was also sort of lovesick during that time, so this is that song, and I love it. So, all right, I'm gonna play it for you. I've been waiting to meet you, been searching for so long, for too long to be true to you. And if you asked me, I'd say I'm happy, I'd say I haven't been thinking about you in months, 'cause I don't really know who you are, and I can't love just for filling a space that I've got in my life. And I miss you, though I've yet to see you, though I've yet to touch you, to hear you say you got a friend. And maybe one day I'll be walking and I'll meet you, but you won't be waiting too, 'cause I don't really know who you are, and I can't love just for filling a space that I've got in my life. And if I met you, I can't promise it'd be easy, but I can hope that it would be worth both of our time, 'cause I don't really know who you are, and I can't So I'm leaving, and maybe you're somewhere going, or maybe nowhere at all. But I'm done searching for meaning. I think it's time that I'm no longer waiting for you.
Nice. I love that. I could totally hear full band with that. Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. So I'm just tuning out of Gad. So Laura, tell us, where can people find out more about you and your music?
Sure. So if I'm gonna post something about my music, in theory, it'd be at on Facebook. It's Laura Marielle Music. So that's LauraMarielle Music. You can just slash that. And you know, the whole online presence thing is something I'm just getting into these days. So I'm gonna be working over the next few weeks and months on getting my current repertoire up online, and so if you're gonna see that, that's where you'd see it.
Cool. Well, looking forward to seeing what's next and whatnot. So cool. Well, thanks again for tuning in. You are listening to KGNU Boulder, Denver, Fort Collins, Netherlands. This is the showcase of the Coalition of Women Songwriters. Just heard a couple more tunes from Valerie, Bhat, and Laura Marielle. And I'm going to play a tune here. My name's Riley Ann. I'm going to play a tune here that I will be releasing with my blues rock band called The Cat Calls. This is a tune that I rewrote. It's a Nina Simone tune. I came across this tune that she wrote. It's called Mississippi Goddamn. And I was reading through the lyrics. It was really powerful, to listen to her perform this. And sometimes when I listen to music, one of my professors, Doc Lewis, used to say, you can't tone bathe. You can't tone bathe. Well, sometimes I tone bathe, and I don't necessarily pick up everything that I should. So I was reading the lyrics, and I was really shocked by, seeing the words written. I was like, wow, she wrote this over half a century ago. And there's a lot of stuff that really hasn't changed. The song has never really been more relevant with everything that's happening. And I was like, well, I think someone missed the memo, so I think I need to rewrite this song, because I think white people missed the memo. So as a white girl in 2018, or a white woman, I decided to specifically rewrite this song and rewrite some of the lyrics specifically to address other people who are also white. So this is my version of Nina Simone's Mississippi Goddamn.
Alabama's got me so upset. Tennessee made me lose my rest. Everybody knows about Mississippi. Goddamn. Can't you see it? Can't you feel it? Going
Well, that's that song. So if you're curious what that sounds like with the full band, you can find out more about that on our website, thecatcallsband.com. And we also have a Facebook page, also called The Cat Calls. And then I, every once in a while, play some solo shows. I'm kind of getting out of the one-woman band scene, but I also have a Facebook page for Riley Ann One Woman Band, and my website for that is rileyannsound.com. So I think we have time for maybe one more song. So who would like to jump on that? Maybe two.
And I got one I'd love to play. But
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Please.
All right.
All right.
I'll pop in and then we'll see if I can get it done quick, right?
No, not too
Double time. Give it some heat.
I think I'll really lose some of its character. All right. This is a song I wrote about my high school years. I can speed up the talking a little bit. And it's just about some of the first close friendships I had and the loss of those around. And this song is called Red Lights Blinking, and that's talking about this radio tower field that we used to hang out in.
How appropriate at the radio station.
I know.
All right.
Placed with islands of trees, and it was you and it was me. With the red lights blinking, with the red lights blinking, we were learning how to love and we were learning how to touch. It was me and he with the red lights blinking. And all of us were wandering, and all of us were lost. We were laying in the grass with the red lights blinking. I loved you so. I loved you so. And the four of us, we hid in trees and learned what it was to be. But I never told you my true feelings. But I loved you so. I loved you so. I couldn't see the end, and I don't think that you could either. With the red lights blinking, with the red lights blinking, and I never knew what would be the end. I never knew how to be a friend. Oh, how I hope I got that figured out by now. But I'm leaving those red lights blinking. I loved you so. I loved you so. I love you so. I loved you so.
Beautiful. Thanks. Well, thanks for being for joining us tonight, Valerie and Laura. This is a really nice evening. I really enjoyed playing tunes with you. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about the Coalition of Women Songwriters, we do have a Facebook page and a website. If you Google search Coalition of Women Songwriters Boulder, I bet you will find it. Typically we meet on the fourth Wednesdays of the month. Tomorrow we are not meeting here at the station we're actually going to be meeting at Shanna and Address's show, which also features Valerie. So, yeah.
We'll be at Still Sellers tomorrow at 6.
All right, cool.
All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in. This is KGNU, Boulder, Denver, Fort Collins, Netherlands. Cool, we're off. The best timing I've had. I usually go like 4 minutes over, and